Okay, hello, hello. Welcome to Verbling. I'm Teacher Oakley. Hello, Heidi.
Hello, nice to see you again.
Likewise.
Yeah, you are very late, so I was about to go
Very
to
late.
another room.
Having a little technical difficulty
Oh, really?
today. Hang
Mhm.
on. Weird.
Today, how about the weather?
How's the weather today? Cool.
Cool, it's very good. You don't need to have air conditioner.
That's right. I can
Mhm.
save money. Yes, it is good, and it's comfortable, and it's nice. So, yeah. Very quiet outside today. It's nice. I like it. How's the weather where you are? How's the weather? Uh,
My place, very good, too much. I don't need to have such good weather because
What?
because temperature is going high higher.
Okay. Yeah. The weather's too nice. Okay.
Yeah, but I mentioned before some place very close to my house, not this place, a little out, had a flood. So yesterday
Ah,
and today they need to clean up their house. Their house floor covered by earth mud.
oh,
Very
that's
sad. Hmm.
no fun at all. Uh, okay. Also, welcome Ruben. Hi, Ruben. Good to see you again.
Hi teacher, good to be here again. How are you?
I'm good. Okay. Let me talk about the class for a minute. All right. For today and the next 3 days, actually, we're going to be we're going to be looking at prefixes, suffixes, root words, kind of the building blocks of English vocabulary, the different parts of English vocabulary. Uh, I have to confess something to you. As I was researching for the class, I compiled for 2 days from now, we'll be doing a little test together just for fun. I was compiling this test of different roots, Greek and Roman roots. Of course, most English words, not all, but many, the larger portion, are from Latin and Greek words. And so we use those Latin and Greek words to form English words. Uh, the Greek and Latin roots we use as building blocks to build English words. And if you know these roots, it's very easy to decipher meanings to vocabulary, to words that you're unfamiliar with. I shouldn't say easy. It's easier. It's very helpful. It's never easy, but it's very helpful. And anyway, I have to confess, as I was compiling this test of the meanings of these Greek and Roman roots, uh, I thought I knew a lot more than I know. I was a I was a little
Before
uh,
a translator,
embarrassed.
a Japanese, she's doing job in some international place. At first, she went to America, so she bought a suffix and prefix dictionary.
Yeah.
Then it was very good practice for her. She could expand her vocabulary a lot. So she recommended to the radio listeners to learn about suffix and prefix. It's very good.
Yes. Exactly. And as I said, I thought I knew more than I really did know. And so it made me realize how many I still need to learn. But okay, Heidi is exactly correct. I couldn't have said it better. Because they are the actual building blocks of the words we use in English. Um, it, it translates very easily. Words that come into families of the roots and the suffixes. Now, prefixes also. Prefixes have very kind of words with the same prefix, like, for example, first of all, let me say hello to Luis. Luis? Hello?
Hi, teacher.
Hi, how are you?
Thanks. Thanks.
Okay. For example, Luis, when you have the prefix comes in front of a word. Okay, root word is usually in the middle, but not always. If you don't have a prefix, it could be in the front. A root is the basic part, and a suffix is usually, well, it's always at the end of a word. A prefix, let's talk about these one at a time. A prefix in the beginning of a sentence, I'm going to concentrate on prefixes today because tomorrow I'm going to concentrate on suffixes. For example, Ruben, if I have the prefix re, what meaning does re have? R-E. As in return, renew.
Yes, in that example, it's to make something again or to repeat.
Again, repeat. Precisely, exactly. So if I have a word and I don't know, maybe I don't know the word, if I see re in front of the word, I know something, I'm doing something again. So now I have to figure out the root word. Exactly, precisely. Of course, we have many prefixes that mean not, or that turn a root word into the negative. Heidi, can you think of any prefixes that change a word into not? What? X.
Expand or export or like EX.
EX, actually, okay, wait a minute. Let's talk about EX. EX actually means out.
Out, yes.
Like exit, export.
Export. And the in is opposite. Import. Inside.
Okay. And I am, you mean? I am is tricky because I am can mean, okay, import, but I am can actually be an opposite word, like possible, impossible. Okay. What's another prefix we use to make? There's a bunch actually that we use to make something. We add to the front to create an antonym. An antonym is the opposite.
This.
Yeah. Respect, disrespect. Very good. Absolutely. Luis, can you think of another case where we add a prefix to create an antonym? Possible, impossible, like, dislike. Can you think of another one?
Outside, inside. No?
Yeah. Well, there, we're adding, okay. Actually, that's a very good point. Okay, really, you're creating a word from side and in and out, which are, of course, which are prepositions. Now, what you're doing, they're not actually, they're prepositions. They're not really prefixes, but they certainly do act as prefixes, sort of combination words. That's true. They act as prefixes sometimes. Okay, that's true enough. But I'm trying to think of prefixes that turn the meaning around. Ruben, can you think of any? Can you think of another one?
Yes. I don't know. Stud is a suffix. Stud, like in understand. No, it's not, right?
Stand, stood.
Ism.
That's a root word.
Ism, for example.
Ism. Okay. Ism is definitely a suffix. It's definitely at the end, right? We don't start words with ism. Okay, so that's a suffix. All right. Okay. Let's talk about suffixes for a minute. prefixes at the beginning of words often they change the word, okay? They could mean the root word or the main part of the word, all right? It can change it by using a prefix, or sometimes, as Louise pointed out, sometimes a preposition will change the meaning of the word or make it more specific, like side, inside. Which side? Inside. Outside. Make it more specific. Means again, impossible, dishonest. Okay, it means the opposite. Anti, against. Okay. Prefixes change the meaning of the root. The suffixes, on the other hand, like ism. Ruben, what kind of word is an ism word? Like, well, what's a word with ism? Ruben, give me an example.
Yes. It's like for example, in criticism,
Criticism.
heroism, Buddhism.
Heroism. Great. Mm-hmm. Buddhism. Okay, great. What kinds of words are those? Noun,
are
verb, adjective.
Are nouns. Are using nouns. Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are. Very good. Suffixes have the property that they can change. Most roots are what we would think of as the nouns or verbs, really the most important vocabulary word forms are nouns and verbs. They carry the most weight. They have the most meaning in English. If you could communicate primitively by just using nouns and verbs.
They for example, I found that in Spanish we have almost the same roots and the same prefixes. For example, for ism we have ismo. It's the same but with o at the end, and obviously the pronunciation changes, and it's because it comes from the same roots, the same prefixes. For example, we have all the ismo to make it to refer to the same meanings in English.
That is exactly right. Have you ever heard of the phrase Romance languages?
Yes.
Okay.
I have.
Now, many people think Romance languages, it's like Romeo and Juliet, love in the afternoon. But no, in fact, what that has to do with is it comes from, it's actually Roman, Latin, and Greek. Romance languages all have the same roots in common: Spanish, English, French, Italian, Portuguese. They all have the same roots, and you're absolutely correct, because they all evolved from the Roman Empire and Latin. And Latin is chiefly derived from Greek. So, okay, backwards evolution, kind of, you can see that they all have the common history, the common derivations, the etymology. Okay, so absolutely, you're correct. Now I thought I knew a lot more, but obviously I'm getting older, and so I've forgotten a lot. Because very oddly, this is totally not normal, but I took Latin in high school. Most American high schools do not offer Latin, but my school did. And I took Latin in high school, and then I took Latin in university afterwards. So I thought I knew a lot of Latin. Back in the day, after university, when I was translating Homer and Plutarch and all that, I knew a lot of Latin. I could look at a Spanish newspaper, even though I don't speak Spanish. I could look at a French newspaper, even though my French is quite limited. And I could Italian, and I could actually pretty much read the newspaper, because I knew all of the root words. I didn't know exactly, for example, prefixes could change words, suffixes or endings like ismo, I didn't know exactly. if I was looking at an adjective or a noun or a verb. Suffixes, all right, they add meaning to the root word, but they also have the additional property of changing nouns and verbs to adverbs or adjectives. Heidi, what is the suffix that we use most of all for making an adverb?
Not
for example?
prefix. Why?
What?
Why subject change to the suffix? Today you said, today we learn prefix. No?
Okay. He brought up suffixes, so I just wanted to make a couple
It's
points
tomorrow,
about.
right?
Well, tomorrow what we're going to look at is
You
how
said.
suffixes change stress in words.
Today it's
Pronunciation.
suffix.
Not necessarily. Today is all three. Okay. I'll probably talk more about prefixes though, because there's a couple things I want to.
Yeah, there are many suffixes. For example, like station, sure.
Right.
ION and even ION. And then
Okay.
connection or suggestion or
Okay. My question to you
what?
was, I just wanted to demonstrate a couple things about suffixes. One is that we changed words into
Change.
adjectives and adverbs.
Or adverb or a noun to
Right.
adjective or verb to noun or something.
Right. And there is one suffix that we use to change words to adverbs,
Mm-hmm.
largely, all the time.
Like
ly. That's all I wanted. Now we can move to suffixes. That's all I wanted to hear. I didn't want to have a big argument, okay? I just wanted, that's it, to make one quick point. Okay, for example, ly, we create a lot of adverbs by adding ly, for example, to show what a suffix can do. Okay, we're going to move back to prefixes, but okay, since we're mentioning suffixes and showing how they're different than prefixes, I should also mention root words. Root words are usually what you see in the verb or the noun form. Some root words are very obvious. For example, Luis, what do you know? Can you tell me what do these root words mean? Acid, acre, acri, acri, or with this group I should put acer. All right, this is a root word group. Luis, what do you think this root word means? Has to do with? No?
No,
Well,
teacher, I don't know.
no idea? Well, it comes right in the, do you know the word acid? I mean,
Acidic.
acidic. Very good. Sour. Acerbic means sour. Acrimonious means sour, sharp language. Sour or sharp. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's pretty easy because acid is actually the word. Other times it's much more difficult to discern what it means. Okay, sometimes many of the root words, okay, are some roots are used as it's a root word, but it's used as a prefix and contains a bunch of words very much related to something very specific. For example, Reuben What is sometimes root words? Okay, it's a root, but it's also a prefix. And to demonstrate that, Ruben, what is agro or agri? What do you think this root word means? And can you think of any words that have this root word? Ruben, are you there? Okay, Ruben stepped out, I guess. Heidi?
Yes, I'm here, teacher. I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hello.
Yes, I was on the phone.
Okay.
I was on the phone. Yes, excuse me. Yeah. Now. Yes, what was the question? Sorry.
Okay. I was talking about how some root words can function as a root word, but also can function as a prefix. And many of, especially of the Greek ones, create a whole family related to one specific thing. And then I give the example, agro, agri. Can you think of words that are related, and what does this root word mean?
Oh, I think they are related. They are related to all the agriculture, agro-pecuary things. So they're related to farms, to soil, to the ground. These are expressions with that.
That is correct. They're related to fields or to the soil. And yes, agriculture, agro-industry, whatever. Very good. And that is directly coming from Greek. How about Heidi? How about geo? How about geo?
Geo maybe related to some soil or earth or terra. Terra is what's the ground or ground? No.
Well, yeah, earth, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the Greek word for earth. So, okay, what are some words that have to do with geo?
Geothermal.
Geothermal.
Geography.
Okay.
Geography.
Geography. Okay. Geology. Oh, all right. Geothermal. Okay. Now you have basically you're slapping together two root words. That's a great example. Geothermal. Geo, earth. Thermal. What does thermal have to do with, Luis?
Temperature.
Temperature. Thank you, Luis. Thermal is obviously temperature. Yeah, exactly. So, earth temperature. Okay. Sometimes a root word can be just the word by itself. Luis, do you have any phobias?
I don't remember.
You don't remember if you have any phobias?
I think that no.
Okay.
The height, how can I say altura? The
Height.
height.
Altura is height.
The hike could be.
I'm afraid of heights.
Heights.
Acrophobia.
Thank you. Thank you. Very good. Acrophobia. Very good. Acrophobia is fear of heights. Okay. There is an enormous list of words, which I don't know anybody who knows. But of all the phobias, there's so many things human beings are afraid of. A phobia is a fear, and the actual root word, this is exactly as it is in Greek. It's exactly the word in English, a phobia. So, Ruben, is there a related word in Spanish to phobia?
Yes, actually, it's the same pronunciation and almost the same. Just we changed the ph, and we changed it with f directly. Phobia. F-O-B. Yes, but the pronunciation is exactly the same.
Okay. I just guessed. I did not know the answer here. I was just guessing, but I
And also for
felt confident it
agro,
would be. Yeah.
agro, agri, and geo. For example, geografía, geography. Geologist, it's geólogo, and things like that. And we have the same. Mhm.
Okay.
And actually, I think that for example, with phobia, we have a prefix and a suffix because phobia would be the suffix, and we add another prefix to, for example, arachnophobia or something. It's like
Ah, right.
that could be a
Yep.
mixture
That's
of
right. So this actually demonstrates something else. Phobia by itself is a root. Sometimes roots, I demonstrated earlier, can be prefixes, but Ruben
Mhm.
is exactly correct. Sometimes the roots can act as a suffix. Very good. Just similar to geothermal, you're just combining actually two roots. You're using
Two
one as a
words.
prefix and one as a suffix. But okay, thermal by itself is a word, right? Um, and it's some thermometers. Okay, now instead of geothermal being a suffix, thermometer is now it's a prefix. Okay,
Mhm.
so they kind of dance around a little bit. Um, so sometimes roots act as prefixes, sometimes they act as suffixes. So okay, so we can't really nail down. So okay, we're only going to talk about prefixes, only going to talk about suffixes. We really can't because sometimes they take on both jobs, right? Okay, very good. So we demonstrated that. I'm going to give you, I would like to give you, see if you can figure out some of these root words and do they act as a, here's another one that can act as a prefix or a suffix. Uh, Heidi, do you have any idea what this root means? Fill or file? Heidi, do you know any words with fill or file in them?
Philosophy.
Philosophy. Mhm. Oh, very good. That is very interesting, given what this root word means. Uh,
Philanthropy.
philanthropy. Thank you, Louise. Very nice one. Yes. Ruben, can you give me another one?
Mm,
Philanthropy, philosophy.
bibliophile
Okay.
or bibliophile.
Bibliophile. Bibliophile. That's hard to say. Okay. Very good. Now, bibliophile. What is a bibliophile? Do you know?
A bibliophile. I'm not sure, but it's a person who really likes to keep books or to collect
Yes,
them.
that's correct. Very good. Person who loves books. What does a philanthropist do, Luis?
It's a person that uh, is an artist, would be.
Well, not necessarily. Doesn't have to
Very
be.
generous person.
Very generous. He loves the world. Exactly.
Donate a lot of money to poor people. Yeah.
Yes. Give it to
Yeah.
me. Make it rain. Okay, right. He loves loves the people in the world. Philosophy. Strangely enough, you might think it's about ideas and thinking, but the root fill or file means love. Love. So philosophy is the study of love.
Mm.
Weird, right? Crazy. Those crazy Greeks. They're loving guys. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to predict. I mean, I really wouldn't have thought of that myself. Philosophy is study of love. Okay. Well, all right. So sometimes it's not so easy to figure out because we don't have the background or the culture, the references that ancient Greek person has, frankly. How do we know the way an ancient Greek person thinks? Sometimes we don't, so sometimes it can be a little confusing. All right. Hamza, wherever you are out there in the ether, he brings up the word psychic. All right. This can be confusing as well. The PHYS. Okay. We have to be careful with this one. PHYS. All right. Fizz, usually fizz. Or related, but not the same. PSY. Sigh. Yeah, okay. Heidi, what's the difference? Fizz and sigh? What it feels. You know, where do we see fizz? It's kind of
PIYS is related to somebody.
yes, with a Y. Yes, like as in, of course, physical.
Physical.
Sure, absolutely. Right? And meanwhile, psi, PSY, has to do with what? Bananas. No.
No.
Of course not. Don't be crazy. Okay. Don't be crazy. Don't be psychotic.
Yeah, maybe kind of mind or
Mind, sure.
kind of brain.
Psychiatrist. Mind, brain.
And it seems that
What's that?
Psychiatrist.
it seems that. Oh yes. What, Heidi?
Psychiatrist.
Psychiatrists.
Psychiatrist.
Yes. Psyche,
Yes.
psychology, psychosis.
Psychic.
Mm-hmm.
Psychic. It has to do with the mind or the soul. And here again, you know, going back to ancient Greek, they considered the mind and the soul were really one thing. We've kind of, through time, sort of separated the idea into two different things, but to an ancient Greek person, the mind and the soul were one thing. So it's kind of interesting, really. Kind of fascinating. They thought in a different way, and our language sort of evolves, but doesn't really keep up sometimes. Okay, before I forget, another thing I definitely want to mention and share with you is prefixes. We also use prefixes to count things, to make things very countable. Luis, do you know what prefix we use for the number 1?
We used to count all. No, I don't remember.
Sorry, actually, there could be 2 different prefixes. Ruben, do you know what prefix we use for 1?
In these examples, or
Well, you
another
can give me
example
an
for
example.
countable.
You can give me an example. That would be terrific.
Well, for example, man. We use that for example, salesman.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I'm talking about for the number 1. We have a prefix that we always, actually 2. There's a couple prefixes we use to show the
yes,
number 1.
yes. Oh yes, and that is a prefix.
A prefix. Yes.
For number 2, 3, third, for example, third.
Okay.
Trinity, for example.
No. For example, what do you call a one-wheeled bicycle?
Oh yes, mono. Mono is for 1.
Mono is for 1, like monocle, that one glass in the eye, or monotone, like one tone. Yes, mono is one of them. Mono is
Bi.
one. Uh-huh.
Bi.
Monoski, one ski. Heidi, what is the other prefix we use for one? You know?
One.
Yeah.
One. I'm not sure.
Okay.
One.
Luis, do you know?
Unit.
Thank you.
Mm,
Sure,
Unit.
that's it. Heidi's got it. Universe. One.
Yeah. Unicorn.
Unicorn. One horn. Unicycle. Unit.
Unit.
One thing. A unit.
Unique.
Unique. One of a kind. Exactly. Uniform. All right. All one style, one form. One form. Uniform. Okay. Yes, definitely. And obviously, it's used a lot. So there's a lot of words with uni. You know that it means one. Luis, how about two?
two.
Two? How do we start words that start with two?
Plural. B.
B or by. Yes.
By.
B-I. By. As in, for example, Luis?
Bimotor. Two motors in the
Bimotor? What the heck is that, Luis?
a airplane have two motors.
Oh, okay.
One motor and bimotor. It's a type of airplane.
Okay. Really? They say bimotor?
Yeah.
Okay. They do. Okay. That's neat. I didn't know that. All right. I can learn things too, you know. I'm allowed. All right. I know a plane with two wings, they call it a biplane.
Bicycle could be.
Bicycle. Yeah. A binary star are two stars that are attached with gravitational pull is a binary star. Sure. Ruben?
Yep.
What's another root for two? What other word do we use for two? You know, do you know?
Let me think.
Die or D.
You're definitely really close. You're
Close.
getting warmer.
Dial? Dia?
Not
Both.
quite.
Like diurnal?
I know what you're thinking of. Okay. Diurnal. D-I. Well, yes. Yes, we can use. Well,
Carbon dioxide. Like that.
dioxide. Okay. All right. Or sometimes it means two. Sometimes it means to double something. For example, divide or diverge. Okay. Yeah. It's getting very close to DIA, which we use to cut in half or across or between, like diagonal, diameter, diagnosis, dialect, all these words, across or between two things. Very close. Also, of course, we have die. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Die. We also have sometimes duo. I think duo.
Duo.
Okay. Du, for example, dual, duo. Okay, there's a bunch with du as well. All right, moving on. Heidi, how about three?
Tree or triangle.
Right. Yes. Triangle. Tripod. Okay.
Trilingual.
Tricycle.
Trilingual.
Sorry?
Who speaks three languages? Trilingual.
Trilingual. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Very good. All right. Too true. Okay, Luis, 4. Do I hear 4?
4.
Yes. And this can be a word all by itself, actually. Interestingly. Do I hear 4? And we got uni, bye, 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 try. A little
4.
2, I hear 4, 4, 4. Okay, sorry.
Yep.
Ruben,
Yes.
do you know the prefix or the root for 4?
I don't know. It's 4. Uh, it's not 4.
Is it 4?
4.
No, it's not. It's not
Quad.
4.
Quad.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Do you know what the word quad means?
Yes. It means that it has four things like quad core, for example, in the computer. It means
No.
to have 4 things.
Does it? Okay, I have no idea of that meaning. All right, I've learned something else. Okay, I did not know that. The meaning of quad I was thinking of is most universities, at least American universities, have a quad. This is an area in the central part of the university, which is generally always a rectangle or possibly a square of open green lawn. Maybe trees, maybe not, maybe a statue, maybe not. But the quad is where students can kind of gather to protest. They can gather, they can sit around and study on a sunny day. But it's a 4 square area. Also, what other words start with quad? Heidi, do you know any? Quadruple.
Well,
Do you know any other words that start with quad to mean
qua-
4?
cuaderno. Funny.
What? Quidditch. Okay. Don't know those words. Okay. Luis, do you know any words that start with quad?
Quarter.
No, not really. Okay.
Quarter.
Quarter. Okay, that's very close. Quarter is very close to quad, right? Okay, because it's 1/4.
Quadratic.
Sorry?
Quadrilateral.
Quadrilateral. Okay, very good.
A ring of voxel.
Okay. All right. Quadriplegic. All right.
Okay. In a Moscow, quadricep.
Quadricep. Okay, very good. Quadricep. Yes. Quadrant. Okay. A quadrant.
Like. Mhm.
Meaning
There-
square. What?
Like for example, you make me remind about when we in computer system all the computers has a microprocessor,
Uh-huh.
and depending of the number of the cores that a microprocessor has, is that is named. For example, dual core,
Yeah.
quad core, octa core, and that is like
Octa-core? Do they really have such a
Mhm.
thing?
Yes, that exists. They're not really 8 cores, but they like virtual cores. So it's like
okay.
different channels that the microprocessor has, and
Okay.
that is something that make me think about it. I didn't think about it before.
Okay. Clearly, I need to buy a new computer.
It's single core maybe.
Okay, or maybe I have the half core. Okay, by the way, we also have words for half. Do you know the prefix for half? Like half
Semi?
a world? Yeah, okay. Semi? Yeah, actually, there's a couple. Semi or hemi. Semi can mean part or half, and hemi means half, like hemisphere. Okay,
Oh my god, that's good.
right? Yeah, I have a hemi core. Okay. Right. Okay. Now the evil devil's prefix. Okay, for 5. All right, the famous evil devil star. What is the prefix for 5?
Pent.
Penta. And do you know what
Pentagon.
that's called? You call the devil. You have to draw this on the floor, upside down. Do you know what it's called? Or are you a witch? Pentagon. Yes.
Pentagon. Yes.
Yes. Penta. Or penta with an E sometimes. Ooh, that was weird. Was that coming from one of you guys? Hear music.
I'm sorry, teacher.
Okay, it was you. Okay, thank God, because I thought it was in my head. Freaked me out, man. Kind of scared me. Okay. Penta. Okay. How many? Okay. We also have 6, which is sex. 7, sept.
Hect.
Uh,
Oct.
octo, right?
Oct.
Right. 9 is nove or nove. One interesting thing to do with Latin and prefixes and all that fun stuff, the craziness of the calendar. Well, the calendar that we commonly use now is insane if you think about it. For example, the end of the year, September, October, November, December, that would obviously be 7. Octo, October, 8. November, 9. And deca is 10. December. So what's wrong with this picture? Obviously, it is not the 7, 8, 9, 10th month. In fact, it is the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th month. How did that happen? Does anybody know?
Before I learned about that, January, February closed, too cold. So the year start from the May. Now March. Then started from March, then finished December.
So what did they do with January and February? Were they hiding?
They're relaxing. Calendar is for agriculture. So the farmers, they don't do anything. January, February.
Okay.
Their job started from March.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
I learned.
Yes, the calendar definitely did start in the spring. So they just didn't count the days in the winter?
Yeah.
Okay. That's weird. Really? I didn't. Okay, this part I did not know. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I do know, at least part of it, that the calendar used to start in the spring. The calendar used to be completely different. How strange. That's really weird. And I do know July and August comes from Julius, as in Julius Caesar, and August, as in Augustus Caesar. And were named after the emperors of Rome when they changed the calendar around. Right? So this is very odd that we have basically the last months of the year are called 7th month, 8th month, 9th month, 10th month, but they're not. Peculiarly enough, strangely enough. Okay. Have you guys ever run into any prefixes or suffixes or root words that you find very, very strange, or that you could never understand? Maybe you did or maybe you didn't.
For example, anti or anti is the denying the main word. word, right? So why
So why
anti?
anti? Yeah, okay. Now, this is super common, obviously. And we use this to we actually use it like, we actually use it to, against or opposite. We make up words with it. I'm anti-smoking, for example. So it's against. This one is actually often confused, against or opposite, okay? But if you're anti something, what if you're for something? Do you know the opposite? Anti?
For.
What? I think I heard it. Pro.
Pro.
Yeah, pro. Anti and pro. Actually, I often got these confused. With anti, it's against something. Antibiotic. Okay, it's against the germs. It's okay, whatever. Antifreeze. All right, you put antifreeze in your car so that your car doesn't freeze. Antiseptic. Okay, if something is septic, it's poisoned or it's infected. So, okay, antisocial, against. I often got this one confused with anti, which is A-N-T-E. All right, this really confused me a lot, actually, growing up and learning vocabulary. All right, so A-N-T-I is against. What is A-N-T-E? Does anybody know? It sounds exactly the same, and it's part of the problem. Okay, like, let's see, antebellum, antecedent, anteroom, antedate are examples of words. If you antedate a check, you write the check and you write a date before, okay, before, earlier. So it means before. Okay, easy to confuse. So, okay, so for example, what is the year?
Antique.
Sorry?
No, it's different. Antique.
Antique. Now, well, that's very, I don't know. Antique, that's a very interesting word. I think it is actually these two parts, ant and eek. Because, that's very interesting, because ANT has a lot of different meanings. A lot of possibilities there. So I'm not sure. IQE. What is IQE? What is that? I can't remember. There's a lot of them. Eek, like mystique, like peak. Something to do with the senses, or I'm not sure, Heidi. I really don't know. Possibly it has to do with for anti. Okay. What year is it, Luis? Easy question for you. What year is it?
Excuse me, teacher, repeat me.
What year is it?
What year?
What year is it? Not a trick question. Okay. Okay. This was a really easy question, Luis.
2014.
2014. 80.
80 waste.
Yeah. Okay. All right. AD. Okay, so what does AD mean here? Do you know?
Yeah, it's this is the year before the before Christ.
Yeah, Deum, anti-diem. Diem meaning God. Okay. Year of our Lord is basically what it means. Year of our Lord. Uh, okay, year before our Lord, which is weird. All right. Um, if anti is before, what is after? Ruben, do you know if anti means before?
Oh, the AD.
Yeah.
Oh, you said on after the
Like
I mean I know the meaning in Spanish, but I don't know how to say it in English.
Uh, the
Uh,
the meaning of like
of
the band
AD.
AD.
It's like after Christ or something.
Well, yeah, that's what everybody thinks it means after Christ, yeah, or after God, Diem Deus. So it's kind of weird. It's very confusing, actually, because it doesn't seem to make sense. Because we have BC, which seems to mean like before Christ, but it's not really in English. And then AD is people say it's after death, but it's not really. It's actually the Latin words. Very confusing. I'm sorry I brought it up. Uh, what is the opposite of ante, ante, which means before something? By the way,
Um,
before also has other prefixes like pre, also means comes before. What is after?
mm,
Okay, go to the pre-party. I mean, go to the, you know? Okay.
mm,
All right. Post. Postpone. Okay. Post date a check. You date it for after. You postpone something. You make it after. So ante before, post is after. Any last questions about roots and prefixes and suffixes? Or can I go eat lunch? Yay! Um, yay! I guess it's lunchtime. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys again real
Thank
soon, I
you.
hope.
Bye.
Bye bye.